What's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Welcome back to another edition of the Morning View. Yes, Tuesday, the 28th of November. Hope everyone is doing well with your cup of coffee on your morning commutes, or just maybe relaxing, having a day in bed. Maybe it's a day off, fortunately for you. Whatever you're doing, be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Plenty of news stories to get into this morning. Of course, the games are coming thick and fast. Big day of Manchester United news and events and happenings. Of course, we've got the press conference coming up later today. I think it's at midday, so I'll be live around sort of 12:30ish, just after the press conference ahead of Manchester United's trip to Turkey to face Galatasaray in the Champions League on Wednesday. Usually those press conferences in European football competitions get going a bit longer. You get Ten Hag plus a player as well, and there's going to be, I guess, lots of questions. I don't think at the moment, at this time, we actually have any confirmation as to who the player is going to be joining Eric Ten Hag in the press conference. But I'll be live, as I mentioned, around 12:30 to break down all of the questions, all of the answers, and all of the team news ahead of the trip. And also, we're going to have a preview as well, previewing the game in the Champions League, as I mentioned. That must win, win or bust, certainly when it comes to the Champions League. But that's all coming up later. Today, what we have when it comes to the Morning View, we have Timo Werner. Yes, Timo Werner being linked to a move to Manchester United in January. It's not only that, Silva possibly going from Benfica to United in the summer. And we just got to talk a little bit, not even for that long, rumours about Carlo Ancelotti becoming the Manchester United manager next season. What kind of multiverse are we living in? So we'll be talking about that and much more. So if you haven't already, click that like button and be sure to subscribe. A reminder, you can also join the UV Members Club. Links in the video description. It'll also be the pinned comment in the chat too. Let's get straight into it. Let's start off talking about Timo Werner. This was a story that actually does appear to have some legs to it, which is really, really surprising. So it comes from Sky Germany, specifically Florian Plettenberg, very well-renowned German journalist, is big when it comes to all of these German football stories. As I mentioned, really won me over, certainly, when it came to his coverage of the Harry Kane to Bayern Munich transfer saga in the summer. And he posted following yesterday, sort of afternoon, evening, saying, news on Timo Werner, he's on the list of Manchester United for winter. So that would be for January. He has said that Manchester United has already inquired about him, but there's no offer or negotiations just yet. Reportedly, Werner is not satisfied with his situation in Leipzig, but the player's tendency at this stage is to stay until at least the summer. One to watch in the next few weeks. As I mentioned, there has reportedly been, I guess, inquiries perhaps, and he's a potential target. Again, this was actually picked up by Sky Sports over here in the UK, saying that Manchester United have made inquiries about RB Leipzig's Timo Werner, and the player is a potential target in January. Now, they don't really say if it's going to be a permanent or a loan deal. My instincts say that this again would be a loan deal. I spoke about this quite a bit previously, talking about what can we maybe expect from Manchester United in January. And my gut has been telling me, not a lot. I mean, I think if you look to last year as an example of what United did in January, I think it's going to be largely similar. I don't think that it's not going to be a case of United don't do any business in January, because I do think we will. I think the biggest ones probably be the outgoings. Jadon Sancho's future is really the biggest thing that needs to be addressed come January, isn't it? In the January transfer window, and his exit, whether it's a permanent or a loan one with maybe an obligation to buy or something like that. I would be stunned if Jadon Sancho is still a Manchester United player come the end of January. But I think if you compare it to last season, where we signed Marcel Sabitzer and Wout Weghorst, they were loan deals, and of course, at the end of the season, they weren't picked up permanently. I have a feeling it's going to be similar this time around, to be honest. FFP is still a thing for Manchester United, and we saw at the end of the summer transfer window and how difficult it was for us to get Sofian Amrabat. It had to be a loan deal with an option to buy. I think it will probably be quite similar in the January transfer market. So Timo Werner might just be a list or on a list of players that United are saying, right, we feel like we need more attacking options. We need more striking options. Yes, we've signed Højlund, but he's still young. We've got Martial, but how often can you rely on him? Yes, Martial's actually been available the majority of this season, but is that because he hasn't really been playing? He's just been sitting on the bench, and if you need Martial to consistently play, most likely he'll break down, and we can't rely on that. And when it comes to Højlund too, not only is he young, but we signed him and he had a bit of a back problem, and we've got to manage his minutes quite effectively. Maybe we do need that attacking option. Now, it's one of those ones, isn't it? Because of Timo Werner and sort of the reputation that he had at Chelsea, right? When it came to the amount of chances that he missed and all this kind of stuff, it made a lot of people yesterday certainly roll their eyes and go, oh, here we go again. Manchester United, what are they doing? What are they doing? I'm going to put myself out there a little bit and say to myself, and say that as a loan, I can take it, right? As a loan, I'm not totally against that. If it was a permanent transfer, I'd say, what are we doing here? What are we trying to build? But I don't see it being a permanent transfer. I know that Florian Plettenberg is saying right now he's basically not satisfied with the situation, but his tendency is to stay until the summer. That to me says that, you know, there would be a possibility in January of doing a loan deal, and then next summer he might really reevaluate his options and decide where he's going to go. The January transfer market is a difficult one to navigate, particularly when you don't really have the finances to do big permanent deals. And honestly, given the structural changes that are ongoing, I don't think Ineos are going to rush in. I mean, who's to say Ineos are actually going to be effectively in play come January as well? That's another point. I mean, here we are, Tuesday, 28th of November, and I don't think anyone expects any significant developments or updates regarding Ineos' 25% acquisition of United, really. So with that being said, I did see something yesterday on social media. I think it was the Muppeteers once again saying that actually Jim Ratcliffe's, was it on holiday this week? So there might be a delay, and also the strategy is to not rush into anything. Basically, the idea is to get all of the pieces in place first, the new CEO, the directors of football, or several sporting directors. So with that being said, I think it will be business as usual, and I think that if they had an option like a Timo Werner that they could get in on loan till the end of the season, and there wasn't too much financial commitment, and he could help out, I think they'd do that. And I don't honestly think that would be the worst thing in the world. I mean, it'd be better than certainly Wout Weghorst last season. I mean, it does, and this is when you get into the territory of having to sympathise, I think, a little bit for Erik ten Hag, though, because he would find himself realistically in the same situation 12 months later, in that January, he's looking for striking reinforcements, and he has to settle on a loan on a player that, in an ideal world, he probably wouldn't go after. I mean, if we had, you know, perfect finances and we were financially sound and healthy and didn't have FFP constraints, we wouldn't be going after Timo Werner. We'd be like, Eric would be like, we need striking reinforcements. And they'd go, right, we'll see who's available. We'd go for Ivan Toney because he's clearly the striker that's available in January. And we go, right, let's get involved in that race and let's see if we can compete for him. But we can't, because we can't buy an Ivan Toney that's going to cost 50, 60 plus million pounds like Chelsea and Arsenal and others will be going for him. So we have to go for Timo Werner on loan. It's the Weghorst situation again. And that's why I say not to expect a lot significant in January, because financially our situation hasn't altered that much, and it doesn't look like this acquisition is going to be done in time. So that's certainly the latest to that. I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, as well as the live chat as well. But Timo Werner, January on loan, you having him? Or are you saying that United can do, well, of course we could technically do better, but financially and realistically, could we actually do better than that? Let me know your thoughts about that in the chat and in the comment section below. Now, a couple of other bits and pieces here. Now, this is a move that United have been linked with regarding Antonio Silva, and this has also been one that's been going around for quite some time, actually. Once again, comes from Florian Plettenberg in Germany, saying that Antonio Silva is Manchester United's absolute top centre-back target for the 2024 summer transfer window. He's also continued by saying Man United are already keen on contract details for Antonio Silva and the plans for a deal. Benfica reportedly expect him to leave the club next summer. This was actually something that Fabrizio Romano then expanded upon late last night, or early this morning, around like 4 o'clock this morning. He said that Antonio Silva remains on Manchester United's list since September. As revealed, he's being scouted, highly rated. Jean-Claire Todibo, Edmund Tapsoba are both still on Manchester United's future list. Top centre-back will join in 2024, more likely to happen in summer than in January. So they're saying that in the summer, United are looking to recruit a centre-back. I think when he says, it's more likely to happen in the summer than January, I think that one kind of hinges on Rafael Varane. There's going to be a lot of movement in the centre-back position, isn't there? Clearly. And this is kind of something I was talking about on the Full View last night. As I don't see realistically why United can't sign 2 centre-backs, possibly next summer, or maybe one in January, one in the summer. And I know I've just said, don't expect a lot. I think United will be operating, in terms of permanent deals anyway, in a sort of one out, one in kind of principle. If Rafael Varane does go in January, which it would feel like maybe the summer's more likely, but January could happen if those Bayern Munich links become more concrete and they figure out what they can do when it comes to wages, because of course his wage at United is significant, then maybe they start looking at Jean-Claire Todibo. Possibly they go, actually, maybe we can do that deal and we can get Todibo in now. I still say in the summer, I know KG was being his usual reckless self last night on the Full View, and he was saying that keep Maguire. I still say let's not get carried away with ourselves. I think it's a really good thing that Harry Maguire's playing well and playing better, and he's in the team at the moment because, one, it's less of a controversy when he plays for England in the summer, which he will, but also there's a longer line of clubs that are willing to pay a higher amount of money and the money that United are looking for in the summer. I still think he should go because I don't think long-term Harry Maguire's the answer or the plan. I think he's just a player that's playing decent at the moment. He's also a player that's kind of got into the starting 11 based on circumstance and availability, and he's taken his chance. And I credit him for that, certainly, and I credit him for coming back from every time he played for United. It felt like he had a mistake in him every single time, and he was just miles off, and not having the captaincy is, I think, eased a burden on him significantly, and we're starting to see that. But in the summer, I'd still be open to offers and be listening to offers and kind of be shepherding him out, saying, look, you're getting a better version of Maguire, and we're never going to get the 80 million, but here's 40, 45, something like that. He's got a year left of his contract come the summer. I think we would have an option, but do you want to trigger that option, or do you want to try and cash in now? And I think that's what United should do. And then, if you're looking at defensive overhauls, you can get in a Todibo, and then you can possibly get in an Antonio Silva as well. And that's a massive defensive overhaul. That's 2 younger players. That's much bigger picture signings. That's signing players that fit into the manager's long-term plans. It's getting rid of 2 centre-backs that are older. Maguire's, 30, I think, at this point. Varane, again, around that number. And you're signing 2 younger centre-backs. So I think that's the way that United need to be looking. We're looking at sort of defensive overhauls. We're looking at defensive regeneration. And I don't see why United can't go in that direction. I don't think just because Maguire's doing well, we should settle or really deviate from the long-term plan, because this past summer, we were sort of saying, get rid of Maguire now, and then possibly at the end of the coming season, get rid of Varane, because we need to just, again, get a younger player, a player that's more physically fit and available more often. We need consistency. Well, why should we deviate from that plan? Maybe it hasn't happened in the order that we intended. We thought we were going to get rid of Maguire first, then Varane. It might be a case of Varane goes first and then we get rid of Maguire. I don't know. But I don't think the plan should necessarily change all that much, to be honest with you. So keep an eye out on that one. Look, we were linked with quite a few centre-backs last summer and nothing really happened in the end. So maybe this is just the beginning. This is something I would actually also say we need to be quite conscious about, is that we're nearly in December. The January transfer window is around the corner. We're going to start getting linked to players that we're never going to sign. And agents look for moves. People have got to write stuff and get their clicks somehow, some way. And United plays a part in that as well. But certainly keep an eye on Silva for next summer too. Finally, I don't know, honestly. This is just ridiculous, isn't it? Nevertheless, an outlet in Spain was reporting last night that Carlo Ancelotti Carlo Ancelotti has an offer from Manchester United. This comes from Arancha Rodriguez, who is a journalist based out in Spain for a variety of different outlets. Look, got a lot of followers on social media, nearly 160,000 followers. And they've got for a variety of different outlets, as I mentioned. Big outlets, Tiempo de Juego. Yes. Oh, yeah. My pronunciation's on fire this morning. Yes. And they say that basically Carlo Ancelotti, he's got an offer next summer if he wants to, and that offer is for the red of Manchester United. That's what they're saying. No, I don't think he does. I would. It's one of those. What? Realistically, I thought the Carlo Ancelotti was going to become the Brazil coach. Isn't that like why? No, and I don't know if that's been like officially announced, but I thought he was becoming the Brazil coach, and we got a manager. And by all accounts, the manager's got the backing. Well, certainly the manager's got the backing of the club as it exists right now. And all reports are that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos, they're happy with Erik ten Hag and the job that he's doing, and they want to continue working with him as well. So it just feels like, again, it's one of those ones where they sometimes, if you want to get a story, if you want to do something, just say they're going to Man United. Oh yeah, Man United are interested. It happens all the time. So I see this story. There's nothing in it for me. If it does become something, I don't even know why it would become something. I mean, Ancelotti's been on record. The only club he wants to manage is Real Madrid. And if it's not Real Madrid, he wants to retire or maybe do an international job, which is probably going to be Brazil. So why he would go to United, why we would be giving these sort of blanket offers. Oh, yeah, you can come manage Man United next summer. Right. What about your current manager? Well, yeah, we're still happy with him. So why have I got this off? I don't, like, it's one of those, I don't know. Dynamite analysis, I know, but it's just because it's ridiculous. That's really what all it is, isn't it? It's just an absolutely, ridiculous story, to be honest with you. So, what more needs to be said, really, about that one? Not that much. There's nothing to it. So there you go, guys. That's a short, sharp, sweet morning view for you this morning. As I mentioned, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As for what's on tap for the remainder of the day, as I mentioned, plenty of UV content. Press conference around sort of 12:30 today. I'll be live for that. And also the preview coming out probably about 6 o'clock later on today as well. And then tomorrow, match day it is. We've got Galatasaray away. We're going to have all of the content that you love. Morning view, match view, fan views, full-time views. How about those views? And everything else in between. So be sure to subscribe. Click the notification bell. You won't miss a single thing. Anyway, guys, have a great morning. And I'll speak to you again very, very soon. I'm out of here. Peace.